Stand Your Ground last week tonight with John Oliver. Why would it? So that's the... Okay, obviously this lady is very chill. But it's the fact that she was angered by the fact that she drew her gun in a stand your ground law state where there was no threat or imminent threat of danger to justify even bringing your gun out, right? Or threatening to use your gun by, you know, keep watching. That just goes to show that gun owners, especially in stand your ground states, they have a sense of entitlement and they feel so inclined to use or utilize their weaponry during times that might not be a life or death situation, right? Which only escalates tensions or could lead to a premature shooting or firing in times where your life is literally not at risk or not in danger in any way, shape, or form. And this is the downside of incredibly lax gun laws in this country.
That Marion Hammer slowed
The goal of some white women.
down their marriage.
The goal of some white women. And their sense of entitlement that transcends beyond just the Karen mentality that we tend to see in the public sphere that you think, how dare you? But we're really seeing the full potential of a white woman who feels as though she is inclined to use as much white women privilege as possible. In this case, it's political agency that she has gumptioned up through her years of fighting for the expansion of gun laws as an NRA lobbyist that had caused a ripple effect. That caused a ripple effect where she now thought that she had the power to overturn the current state bird in Florida because it's a welfare queen and she didn't like that. White women have to be kept in check, all right? I'm telling you this as a white woman. Sometimes we need to be told to stay in our fucking lane, all right? Seriously. More like cat lady privilege. But it was a car full of men. Excuse me. Listen. The thing about white women, some white women have the good sense to know that we need to be kept in check. Try doing that and white men as well. Some white men understand that, yes, white people need to be kept in check. I'm one of those who's willing to vocalize this need to keep white people in check.
Marion
So whenever you have these stand your right laws applied to cases in an arbitrary setting, where in some instances it's used as blanket protections to justify an unwarranted killing if the testimony from the person who shot and killed somebody on site was that they felt that their life was in danger. That does literally allow for license to kill. However, the law can also be bent because of tort reform and other legal precedents. The law can be bent in the opposite direction, where it can be used to justify some sort of punitive measure against those, maybe from a different minority group, who exercise the exact same laws, but then have some sort of other legal precedents categorically fall under this same action. And it's not the lack of structure, but it's the arbitrary nature of our legal system that applies to some individuals but not all. It it does not offer equal representation across the board. And that's just the nature of our legal system in general, as we have seen, right? Especially whenever there is plenty of subjective interpretation of these laws, who benefits from it, how it's applied, that don't even offer for the same legal outcomes. So if this is just going to be, in short, a way for white people to be able to kill other people without consequence, then of course white people in particular are going to favor the stand your ground laws. And as we have noticed, they get really upset whenever the threat to revoke or overturn these laws comes to the forefront of the conversation. And this is the most ironic part, because it's the black woman who was told that she is feared, right? It's the black person whose presence is the imminent threats that allows those stand your right gun laws to be upheld in a court of law. White people are the most terrifying people when it comes to guns and gun right laws. And yet they use the fear, the panic of a black person as their justification to shoot them. I'm from the Detroit area. There are people around here that are afraid to travel 10 miles south of where they live because they believe it's a lawless hellscape. White people are what? They're terrifying. White people and their gun rights? Or, trans panic. Yeah, that's true. In some states you can use your stand your ground laws to shoot a trans person. Some of them are quite stupid. She's coming right for us? I mean, yeah, no, I think it's absolutely terrifying how white people abuse and utilize gun laws to their benefit, because they are able to get away with punitive measures against fellow citizens. They take the opportunity to shoot somebody if they know that there's a legal protection that won't hold them accountable for committing acts of murder. All they have to say is that they felt their lives were at risk. And it's seemingly the case, based on the 11% increase in homicides and stand your ground laws, that people do take advantage of these legal protections. I'd go so far to say that some feel so inclined to carry out some sort of violence, knowing that the law will most likely be on their side, or they're willing to roll that dice. So whenever you have white people itching to find any excuse to pull out their gun and shoot somebody because they will be the hero, because it is an act of vigilantism, because they know that the stand your ground law will apply to them, and it's as simple as saying, Your Honor, this person scared me and I felt my life was at risk, then guess what? They not only get to carry out their sick fantasy, they're proving just how unjust our legal system is, and how, yes, white privilege does take you rather far in this country, unfortunately. Anyway. Is this how stonks work? What is it? I reached 1 million channel points. Oh, hell yeah, Melkovar. Nice. I'm at 1.1 million. Oh, God. Thank you all so much. Puggies. Another thing, Chad, is if we're looking at the evolution of gun laws and gun rights in this country, in its original interpretation of the law and how it was intended to be applied, Second Amendment rights to bear arms was to protect your home from invaders and a tyrannical government. And the arms, of course, were a musket. It's because Amy be throwing in Mario Kart? True. Right? So think about the evolution and the reinterpretation of Second Amendment rights that allow you to not only carry a gun, but to pull out your gun in the public sphere and shoot somebody because you felt as though they were a perceived threat. Now, think about those interpretations without any amendments to the original law. So if you ever think to yourself, well, you know, we have to uphold the Constitution and it is our data source, it's our code that we go back to. We have to respect it. We have to uphold it. Well, think about how, when it comes to the Second Amendment, we have constantly reevaluated and reinterpreted what it means to bear arms and what Second Amendment gun rights really stand for on a state-by-state basis, and what are the ways in which laws have expanded in a particular state, and the rights that have been granted to individuals to utilize the full extent of these laws that results in literal death, literal murder, legalized murder, lynchings on the street. And nobody calls into question the way that we have, over time, reevaluated, reassessed, and reinterpreted what it means to uphold Second Amendment laws, if it means expanding upon the original context of that law. So don't let anybody ever tell you that the Constitution is a revered document that we must uphold in its original context. The constitutionalist argument is a farce. We have done it all the time with one of the most sacred amendments that the American people collectively hold dear. Just gonna put that out there. Something living document. A living, breathing document that is meant to be considered as an imperfect guideline, not guideline, but an imperfect document that must be amended based on the sign of the time. Genesis Lazy Duck, thank you for resubscribing 2 months in a row. Thank you. Right. Well, we've added amendments, we've ratified amendments, we haven't made any changes to the existing law in the form of an amendment. But states have taken it upon themselves to reinterpret the law or expand upon the original context of the law. No problem. And yeah, we've seen that time and time again with our other constitutional amendments as well. But I would go so far to say that no other amendment has been bastardized in the way that the Second Amendment has. Right?